get into today's session.
You need to keep these countdowns in. You need to keep them in. They're very funny.
Anyway, getting into today's session, shall we? Picking up with a bit of a recap. Picking up where we last left off. Waking up after the morning of the rescue of Berwyn, the party rests and recuperates with some confounding coffee drinks, where it is shown that Utgard, in light of his recent discoveries, cut his hair. Meanwhile, Berwyn and Nolson made their way to the front gates of the city to meet with Pastora, the Archbishop of the Order Agma. After some tense negotiations, and Nolson agreeing to make his way to the city, the holy city that is, to repent, if you would, the lives lost in the attack inside the throne room. Afterwards, the Order retreated from the city, while Berwyn made good on his promise to Pastora. Taking Nolson and the Archbishop beneath the city to the secret vault that contained true binding. The Archbishop's greed got the better of him, and he was killed for attempting to open the chest without thinking it was also trapped. He was destroyed and body dumped into the holy water, dissolving any and all evidence of Pastora's transgressions. However, that still meant that the scroll was in danger. The gods had known that it was here. It needed to be relocated, as if staying where it was only a matter of time before it would be stolen. So entrusting Nolson with the task of relocating the scroll, Berwyn performed one last rite inside the vault. In short ceremony, under the gaze of Ilmater himself, Nolson was inducted into the church as a vicar, the highest and most honorable rank in the church, and bestowed a sword of the penitent as status of his ascension. Returning to the party, Nolson explained what had happened, and asked if Cass, and by extension, the Purple Dragon Brood, looked after the Scroll of True Binding. Calling Marks over, the party ran him through the recent developments, after Marks explained the recent developments in the war. Apparently, in all the other cities that were supposed to be taken over were attacked. Warehouses filled with hundreds of pounds of black powder exploded, all within an hour of each other. The Holy Emperor claimed it was an act of terrorism by the Royalists, and the sources say that the dynasty is looking to enter the war as allies to the Holy Emperor. Marks asked the party to go to the capital of the dynasty to meet with some Royalist diplomats to aid them in preventing the Emperor from entering the war and making it a bigger mess than has already been made. First, however, Cass and Nolson returned to the Dragonfire Island, thanks to Marks to ask Tomet and Endre to keep the scroll safe. The two accept the responsibility, honored that they are entrusted with something so important. And after returning, Sweet Daisy revealed her true nature to Utgard and Nolson, that she too harbored the mortal soul of a god in her, the mortal soul of Shar. During the conversation, it was revealed that the realm between dreams, the massive tree that Sweet Daisy had seen, was Yggdrasil, the world tree Utgard saw in his memory. Realizing he needs to get there, Sweet Daisy offered to teach Utgard how to perform dream hopping. Something went wrong, however, and Utgard awoke in a long, white hallway, standing before a glass window which overlooked a gray and dead planet below.
Yeah, Utgard's dead. He got isekai.
I guess that's the end of it, huh? kind of forgot. Do I just stay Catboy for the
Getting
section?
into session. Utgard.
Yes.
You stand in front of the glass window. Very wide, very tall. Overlooking far down below you. The visage of a planet. Gray and still. You stand in a hallway. Slightly curved as you look down the right. You can see the curve goes gently to the right and to your left. It goes gently to the left. The hallway is very bright white, almost sterile. What would you like to do?
Does it look like anyone's around?
In the hallway?
Yeah.
No.
If I look out in the window, is there anyone?
Just empty space and the planet below.
Ooh. Hold on. For some reason, my myth leader is being weird. Okay. I guess I will head to the right.
Gonna go down the right?
the right hall.
Okay. You turn and you start walking down the right. And absently, you look down and you notice you're not wearing the same thing that you were just moments before.
Mm.
Instead, you're wearing a very tattered but not destroyed button-up. It's the color of a very, very deep, dark blue, almost black in certain lights. Buttons up the front. There's a shirt pocket across your left breast that has a flap that is also buttoned. It's collared. And your pants are a strange blob-like, has a strange blob-like pattern of a dark green, lighter green, and grayish, all mixing at a seeming unorthodox pattern. And you are wearing very heavy boots, black leather probably.
Is there anything in my pockets?
You reach into your pockets and you feel a few objects. In your right pocket, you pull out. You can see it's a flat, metal-like object with a black glass screen on the front. And the other one, you can see there is a ring of keys and a folded-over piece of leather.
Can I open up the leather?
Yep. You open it up, and you can see there are a bunch of different plastic cards inside of it. Different
Can I
colors,
pull them
blue,
out?
red.
See if I understand any of them.
One of them says capital One.
Yep, you pull them out, and you can see most of them just have a bunch of scrawl of numbers across it. On the back, all of them are white. There's a black strip going across the top.
Okay. Can I try and glance at my reflection in one of a passing window or something?
Yeah. You look at your reflection, at least in the glass, get very close, and you can sort of make out the details. You look pretty similar. You maybe look a little younger, maybe less in your later 50s and 60s, and maybe more closer to late 30s, early 40s. You have almost wavy, dark brown hair, starting just barely at the roots to graying. And you have a bit of chin fluff. No mustache, no beard.
Soul patch?
Goatee,
Okay.
not a soul patch.
Yeah. This flat piece of metal, does anything happen when I touch it?
That was in your left or right pocket.
Yeah, that was in my pocket.
You push some of the button. There's a few buttons on the side. You start pushing buttons, tapping it. Nothing happens.
Okay. I'll just continue down the right hall for now, and I'm going to keep a special ear out to try and hear anything.
Okay. You keep walking down the hallway to your right. It's a long, empty hallway. The only sound being some ambient noises generated by whatever room you are in at the moment, and your footsteps. Eventually, you come across a door, or at least what you assume to be a door, off to your right. It is recessed inside the wall and doesn't appear to have a handle.
Can I look around like on the door frame or on the door itself for a keyhole or anything like that?
When you step up close to it to attempt to look for a door handle, right as you get maybe about a foot away from it, you hear as the door opens in half to the side. And there's a small room on the inside, darker than the hallway outside.
Can I still see inside?
Yep.
Like, is it light enough?
Yeah, it's light enough where you can see. Just, it looks like there are no lights that are on inside this room, as opposed to the hallway, where there seem to be lights on the top edges of the hallway.
I'll walk into the room.
You step inside. It's fairly small, maybe 10 feet by 15 feet, rectangular. There are a few rows of desks, different, look like screens, boards with a bunch of buttons on them, metal towers. Everything seems like it hasn't been touched in a very, very long time.
Do the lights turn on as I walk in?
Nope.
Okay. I guess I don't know what a light switch is, huh?
Oh, you do. There are light switches in the world.
Okay. Can I look for a light switch?
Would you like to make a search check for me, please?
Keep in mind, this is a dream. It's probably not going to work.
Well, it might not work for other reasons. That's a 3.
3. You look around the walls. It's much too cluttered for you to be able to really make anything out. You don't see anything that would possibly control any lights, if any. But in your search, you do find that there are notepads. There's a white board on one of the windows with a bunch of markings on it.
Can I make out any of the markings, like what they mean?
You look, and it's strange because you don't recognize the writing. It doesn't look like any language that you've ever seen, but you understand what it means. It seems to be a lot of mathematical equations, interspersed by words explaining what everything is. Something about conversions, rates, something of the like. But that's all you can glean from it.
Okay. Do I notice like anything else that is like a special in the room?
No.
Okay.
Other than the fact that one of the desks is kind of stowed away beyond a cubicle in the far corner.
I guess I'll walk up to that desk then.
You look in. Same story as everything else. Bunch of notepads, bunch of writing, things pinned on the interior wall of the cubicle, screen, a few boards with keys in them,
Okay.
a few towers.
I think at this point, Utgard is going to call out and just be like, "Is anyone there? Hello?"
You call out. You don't get anything back.
And there's no door in this room, right?
Well, other than the door that you entered into.
Right. No extra door, I should say.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then I'll leave this room and start heading down left to see what's that way.
Start going down the left path,
Yeah.
and eventually come across another door. This one is off to your right, and through the glass of the window as you're approaching the door, you can see that door leads to a long hallway that reaches out to another part of this building. A larger part, maybe about 200, 300 feet hallway beyond.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Utgard is just very confused right now. I don't think he can. He's gonna like pinch himself, see if this is a dream.
You pinch yourself. You feel a very acute pain in the point that you pinch yourself, but no waking up.
Okay. Then he's just gonna continue down the hall, try and figure out what's going on.
Okay. Do you enter the door or just keep going down the hallway that you were in?
Oh, okay. So it's like the hallway, and then there's a door.
Yes. And then the door, and then it leads into another hallway that leads seemingly to another room off in the distance that you can see through the window.
Can I look down the hallway going straight? Does it look like there's anything coming up soon?
More doors, more small rooms. Nothing substantial, though.
Yeah, then I'll just head right through the door.
Okay. Similar to the other door, you step up. Once you're about a foot away from it, it opens up. It's a long, narrow hallway, maybe 10 feet across. This one, glass windows all across the side, so you can still look off to your right and see the planet far below, still as motionless as it ever has been. You look off to the other side. You can see other very distant, dull, twinkling stars. You keep walking and walking. At one point, you probably look behind you and see that part of this building that you were once in is getting further and further away. And eventually you reach the end of that hallway to another door that opens up. And this is a more traditional-like room. Very tall, maybe about 100 feet tall. This one has general furnishing, maybe white tiling all across. You can see there are a bunch of circular tables with chairs scattered about. Almost planter boxes separating this room into 3 major parts. And you can see the windows extend all the way to curve and start cutting into the roof. So it's just a tall, very almost cafeteria-like room. And as you're looking around at the surroundings, you get a small twinge from your memories. You ate here a lot. With some friends. The food was cheap, readily accessible. And you can see there is a single person in this room, sitting at one of the tables, the very far end of the room. Their back is turned to you right now. They seemingly haven't noticed your presence.
Do I recognize them yet?
From the back now.
Utgard, he very warily is like, hello?
When you call out, the figure suddenly stands up, the chair getting pushed back maybe 10, 15 feet. They spin around, they reach inside their long-sleeved white cloak that they're wearing and produce a metal rod with a handle and point it at you. And she says, "Who the fuck are you?" And as she starts stepping closer, you recognize her. With the floating, inverted pentagon sigil. She is Delilah. As she steps closer to you, and when you say the name, she kind of relaxes. Her eyes kind of narrow, and she says, Utgard? You look different. Hang on. Why the hell are you here? No, better question, how the hell are you here? And then she puts the weapon away.
I have a question for you. Where the hell is here?
Depending on who you are, that might be a very difficult question to answer. And from behind you, you hear another voice that says, "Oh, come on. Is that any way to treat an old coworker of yours?" And you can see stepping out is a young boy with short, maybe ear-length black hair, wearing very general-looking clothing. And once he steps around to look at you, he just sits, floating maybe 5 feet in the air, cross-legged. He's looking at you. "I don't believe I've met you before. Hello."
Don't think
Well,
so.
Yeah, you and, this memory. And he turns over to Delilah and says, "This, at least, part of, you, it's all very complicated, I can explain later, is one of your coworkers. Old coworkers, that is." Delilah just kind of looks at you, narrows her eyes further. Utgard. Doesn't ring a bell. Do you have another name?
Not that I know. I am Utgard in Eldevelm. My past, it's a whole thing, but my past life, I was named Utgard as well. That's really the only name I've known.
He turns over the small, boyish figure. He's maybe about 14 years old. Turns to look at you and says, "Yes, code name Utgard. You are a member of the ground team. Real name, however..." My notes aren't up.
Write this down, write this down.
"Your real name, however, is Nikolai Stefka."
That fits.
Nikolai Stefka.
"Yes, indeed. Does that ring any bells?" Turns over to Delilah, and Delilah says, "Look, there was a lot of people on the ground team. I couldn't remember them all."
What is this ground team?
The young boy looks over and says, "You're a team on Project Eden. Your job, of course, was to gather funds, to facilitate the research, obviously. But Project Eden was very well known for being a non-profit organization, and so things would need to come from, donations and guided tours of the facility. It is very interesting that you are here. But allow me to introduce myself. My name is, or at least you can call me, the Digital Mainframe, or DM for short."
I think I've heard of you.
"Have you? It's very unlikely. Where did she hear me from?"
I have, I was explained what the DM is.
It was explained to you, yes.
Okay. From some people I know. Octa, Sweet Daisy, Tomo, Cassiel.
Oh, yes, they're not dead yet, are they?
I certainly hope not. They weren't last time I was with them.
Okay, very good, very good. I haven't really been able to keep my tabs on them very recently, so all very good. Now, to extend the question that Delilah asked, why are you here?
I don't exactly know.
And he extends his legs down, stops sitting cross-legged, but still kind of floats in the air as he circles around you, inspecting you up and down. "Well, this is all rather odd. You appear to be in possession of a human spirit, and yet you are indeed Aliceborn, born of Eldevelm, correct?"
Yes, what is a human spirit?
It's all very complicated, and I can't explain it when you're older. But if you are indeed a member of the ground team, I suppose some explanations are in order. Delilah, would you like to take this over? Delilah looks and says, "I mean, I guess I can explain it to the best of how I understand it."
Really quick, Utgard met Delilah, right? At the meeting? He met
Yes.
Tiamat?
Yes.
Okay.
Look, I'm gonna try and explain it as simply as I can. I don't know how well I'm gonna do it, because really all this knowledge is not secondary to me, but This is, well, as you may or may not know, is Earth, or as we now call it, Terra Prime. Unlike the other spheres of what you know as the material plane, somebody who does not have a physical connection to here, such as being born or being created here, cannot physically reach this plane. And people who do not have such ties who attempt to get here get shunted off to somewhere else. The space between reality and dreams, I guess, is what the DM likes to call it. But seeing as you're here means that I don't know, means something. DM turns away and says, "Well, in not so many words, yes. So, welcome. It's a bit empty right now. I believe it's just me and Delilah. Do you want like a coffee or something? I don't know.
Sure, I guess. I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything here. So, this is Terra Prime Earth, as you called it?
Earth, yes.
What?
Although in some histories of some of the material plane spheres or what have you, we'll refer to it as Terra Prime. Yeah, but it was originally called Earth.
And then, no, I've met you before. And Utgard points at Delilah. He's like, you gave me like the stone in my hand, and like we turned it into the dragons. You're Tiamat as well.
Yes, I remember. That was my code name. But please, Delilah.
So you're because I was a god. I was Utgard in. What was the
Goldenmere.
Goldenmere. And then I was killed by
yes.
Talos.
You did. Very sad that.
So, do the other gods just like come here and chill sometimes?
Occasionally, Delilah is the most frequent visitor. But as it were, a lot of the other researchers, or the gods as you know them, much rather enjoy existing on the outer planes, places where they have direct control over, some places where they can exercise their godly powers, whatnot, you know.
So, and Utgard turns to Delilah. Why are you here then? If the others are exercising their power and you're not?
Long story. Can explain it later.
Okay.
DM just says, right, coffee, I'll be right back. And he floats off to one of the side rooms inside of this room, leaving you and Delilah standing there.
This is very strange.
You're telling me. I don't think anybody else other than me and the DM has been here for, I don't know, a few thousand years.
How large is this place? When I woke up here, I guess, it was down the hall, and there's like a little room with a bunch of notes.
Yeah. Down that way is the main facility. That's where most of the offices are, and that's where most of the researchers went and researched. This is the mess hall, the cafeteria, if you will. This is where all the workers came to eat. And,
I remember.
Down that way, points to one of the doorways that opens up into another hallway. You can see that reaches all the way out to another part of the building. Says, that's the gardens. Garden of Eden, if you will. It's where the researchers like Shantae and Sylvanas worked down there.
It's weird hearing those names spoken with such casualty, or with being spoken so casually. it's I'm used to, well, revering them as gods, but I guess I knew them as well, at least on some level.
On some level, more on the level of co-workers, but you knew them nonetheless. Probably your reputation as an Oathsborn is robbing you of those memories. It's a very strange circumstance for you to be in.
Yeah. I awoke to my memories not too long ago. I realized, and the only memory that I got was of my death. Sealing or hiding Jormungandr away. And, well, then I died. And then I went to sleep and woke up here.
Yeah. You said Talos was the one to do it?
Yeah. He had, this is right. Like, he had one eye, he had a spear, he stabbed
Eye
me.
patch, yeah.
Yeah.
He was on my team.
Mm.
Conversion team, we called it. He was always the most energetic of everyone else. Always wanted to be the first to do something. Was always running out. He hated Tyr, though. That was one thing that he could never get over.
Huh. I don't really remember Tyr or Talos in any way, but I will take your word for it.
Yeah, well, you being part of the ground team probably prevented you from speaking with any of us in any official capacity. But
Probably.
you're probably more familiar with Loki and Odin and all them.
I would assume as much, seeing as they share the pantheon of Golnamir, but like I said, I don't really remember much right now.
There you go. You can see suddenly the DM, it appears right in front of you and is holding out a mug with some coffee in it. He says, I hope you like it. We only had Folgers, so.
Now that's cruel.
Thank you, I suppose.
You drink it.
Yeah.
It's warm and bitter, but it's coffee.
Thank you.
Now, what are you gonna do?
What do you mean?
I mean, you're here. What are you gonna do?
What can I do? Can I
I don't know,
restore
whatever
my
you want.
memories more?
I need to get a good idea of what you want to do. If you want to stay here for the rest of your life, you're free to. If you want to go back, you're also free to.
I would like to go back eventually, but I do have some more questions if that's all right with you.
Okay, I can answer them to the best of my ability, which is probably quite good because, after all, I am the most advanced supercomputer, and I have all of the databases in my brain. So, ask away, good sir.
Sure. Utgard is just kind of like, it's kind of sinking in right now. Like, what is happening? He's just like, is there a way that you could like restore my memories fully?
Now, that is a good question. No. Short answer.
Okay.
That's gonna have to come from you. Your memories, or lack thereof, is a symptom of your physical body, your Ellis-born body, back in Eldavon. Since I am, of course, a computer, I am prevented from directly interfering with any of you. So even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to restore your memories. That's something that's going to have to come naturally to you.
And that's just like it happens sort of thing.
Happens when it happens. Exactly.
Uh-huh. What this might sound a bit rude, and I don't mean it to be. What exactly do you do?
I do everything.
Oh.
You probably want more, but my first act of creation in this world was bestowing all of the gods their powers.
And that was that everyone part of this Eden project?
Everyone who was in this orbital facility at the time of its inception, yes. Everyone else on Earth weren't so lucky.
Utgard, is there a window in here?
Yes.
Utgard just looks out. And how many people were on Earth compared to in the facility?
Oh, by my approximation, close to 10 billion.
Ah. And I think I can gather what you mean by weren't so lucky.
Indeed. After all, my code was incomplete. And so, instead of granting infinite energy from nothing, it had to come from somewhere. And
The
you are
people
looking at
on
that
Earth.
something right there. Oh, not just people. The plants, too. The animals. Everything.
So the bio, or, he would not know the word bio, right? Like the life on Earth fueled the creation of all the other realms.
Correct. And it all happened in a single moment.
So why wasn't your code finished?
Wasn't finished. They weren't done making me yet. But it was forcibly activated by one of the researchers, or ex-researchers, named Jack Vance, or Vecna, as you probably know him.
I do know that name. It's been coming up a lot more recently.
Yes, he probably has some fingers in a lot of different pies.
What was it? It was oh fuck. Actually, what was it? It was like Seno something?
Senegide?
The Senegide. The cult of Vecna or something.
Yes, whatever they want to call themselves.
You wouldn't know anything about the Silver Mask people, would you?
I do.
Can you tell me more about them?
No.
Okay.
If I wanted to, I would. However, those files are locked behind maximum clearance. And since you are a member of the ground team, you cannot access those files. Nor can Delilah, actually, for that instance.
What is Delilah doing right now? Is she just like watching?
She's just kind of like standing there cross-armed, still kind of not quite believing what's happening herself either.
So, this Vecna, or this Jack, I suppose, forcibly started you early. Do you know why?
And you can see he looks up for a bit and says, I have his old police record when he attempted it first, and I have his official on-record statement for why he did what he did. He said, and I quote, "I want to be a god." That's all I gave.
Huh.
That man crazy.
What do you know of Shar?
Sure. She was a member of the garden team. Worked closely with Shantea, Sylvanas, the others. Worked to create old, extinct species to see how they work in a closed habitat. Just so, once Earth was restored to its former glory, they know how best to set up animals and habitats.
That sounds a lot different than her reputation on the plains.
Yeah, and?
I suppose just because it's like Shantae and Sylvanas, well, they're, gods of nature, and they're relatively cool. And then they're working on, like, the garden team, and then Shar is, like, bedtime story evil god. And then she worked in a very similar role. It's just kind of some dissonance there, I guess.
Sure. Some of the members on our team didn't really like her very much. Said she was a bitch.
Ah. Interesting. Were
These
any
are their
other
words, not mine.
Of course.
I'm calling upon the disciplinary action on file, of course.
Of course. Were any other members of the ground team made gods?
Yes, quite a few of them actually. Once Vecna, Jack, got on the facility, it was all hands on deck. So everybody who were members of the ground team were immediately called to the facility to help out. And you just so happened to be on the facility when the moment occurred.
Were they Odin? You said that they were Odin and Loki and them, right?
Indeed.
Huh. Utgard is probably like done with his coffee now. He's like sets it down on the table. So, what now? Like, do I? Once I leave, can I come back here, or is it like?
Who knows?
I probably shouldn't.
I actually don't even know how you got here in the first place.
Can I sense motive him real quick to see like
Sure.
if I told him the truth, would he like get pissed? 16.
16. You look at him in the face. He's very earnest. You don't know if that's because he's just really, really good at lying, or if his programming or whatever close prevents him from lying to you.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I was trying to find my way to Yggdrasil, which apparently is put in the realm between realms, as it were.
Oh,
And,
yes. Mm-hmm.
There was a ritual that got performed. I fell asleep and woke up here. And I guess that's like, as you say, like, because I have a connection to this place, I wasn't put in the realm between realms. I was brought here.
Correct. Those who have no physical ties here cannot enter the realm between reality and dreams. You just end up here.
Oh my god! That's a hell of a way to hide it from the gods. Because if they try and get it, they literally can't find it. Because they'll just end up back at the facility. They can't go to the realm between realms. So if Jormungandr and the World Tree is there, they literally can't get there.
That's a really cool way to think about it, yeah. Huh.
Because they're tied to the facility?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Utgard can't enter the realm between realms because he has a physical tie to the facility, as do all the other gods.
And that was probably incredibly intentional.
Why can Sweet Daisy do it though?
Because it's not the full soul, I guess.
You're not, yeah.
But you're not the full soul either.
I mean, technically I am.
No,
I think
he is.
Actually,
He is,
I think he
the
is
full
the full
soul.
soul.
He just got reincarnated.
I just
And
don't
he
have
just
the
lost his
divine
memories.
powers.
The
You're
physical
half a
body
soul.
died.
He's a 100% soul.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I have so many questions.
I'm pretty
I want
sure
to know
that's-
about all the gods. I want to know their dirty secrets.
I'm pretty sure that's why he's also
But-
a Ellisborn, and why you're
Also,
Izumi.
something that's noticeable is that Shar was one of the active participants against Jormungandr and the gods, and that means if Shar's joined to Sweet Daisy, she'll know where the World Tree is.
Oh, that's bad.
And
Let's
she can
assume
send a
that Shar
human
has-
there.
Shar has any level of consciousness right now.
Yeah, unless Sweet Daisy gets joined.
Unless Sweet Daisy is Char's consciousness, and she's just like Utgard, who's been
No, probably
reincarnated
the other way
over.
around. If you get stabbed
Probably
by
the
the
other way around.
Dawnbringer, I guarantee that's going to be like they now know where the World Tree is, and all they
Yeah.
have to do is send one of their cronies to get it.
Cam, you should ask about Ogma and see if he was a little bitch. Or Ilmater, see if he was a cool fella in the medical tree, probably. I don't know.
Utgard, all due respect, Utgard is not thinking of that right now.
I was
how Ogden's a bitch.
unpopular. I was a bitch.
Half of you was a bitch. The other half, cool. Other half, sick as fuck.
I also, so the ground team is like PR, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
I like how Utgard is dressed like he's part of the security team, but he's like he has like the camo boots, the flannel, the combat boots. It's like, nah, this man works in PR, but he's dressing like he's ready for war.
Maybe the PR was kind of that, like, hey, we're good, we're better than the world. Here's our weird security team gonna show you around.
Well, I appreciate you answering my questions, I must say.
I literally couldn't not do it, even if you wanted me to.
Well, that doesn't change the fact that I appreciate it. How do I get back?
I can probably help you with that. Go on, follow me. I'll show you to my office. Delilah, you come too.
I like that he has an office.
Delilah's like, why? All right, I guess I'm. And she starts following behind. And this time he, boots on ground, just starts walking off.
I'd like to
Going
think
back
she's
the
like
way you
reading a
came from.
newspaper or something.
Yeah, I mean, Utgard will follow, just sort of taking everything in.
The door opens up, starts walking down the hallway. You can see DM is a bit chipper. Starts walking off.
Do we know what year Project Eden went off? Oh, dang. I'm so curious about that. Has he got the opening door thing?
Delilah, what do you do here most of the time? Do you just sit in the mess hall alone and just think, or what?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Do you not like it in the material planes?
I did one time. But I'll put it this way. Everybody, you included, I guess I'll put that in there. We've existed for thousands of years. I personally have lived enough times for 20 lifetimes. I don't think we were meant to exist this long. I'm just tired. I miss my husband. I miss my kid.
You had family.
Yeah.
Were they on Earth?
Massachusetts.
I'm sorry for your loss. Truly. I cannot claim, well, I have faced similar pain, but I cannot claim to know of yours. My
right.
my body on Eldeveln, or well, I guess I am only 50 years old, but I am definitely feeling my age. Every morning I wake up and there's a new ache. There's some soreness that would have been gone much earlier in my younger years, and I can only imagine what it must be like to have that 20 times over. I guess because this is all new to me, I'm able to bear it better, or more easily, I should say, not better. I do not mean to imply anything.
I understood. You're good. We're all in this together after all. At least I like to think so.
I think so. You helped us a lot with giving us the dragon forms and making an appearance there, and it was quite the show, I must say.
Yeah. I'm just tired. And I'm tired of cleaning up after other people's messes.
Is that what you mainly do now? Clean up after the other gods?
That's what I try to do. I don't know how good I am at it, but
Like
yeah.
this war with Agma and all that is something along those lines, or
Yeah. Just a new thing in the history of shit that we've all had to deal with, so.
I guess that's life for you. A never-ending shitstorm.
You don't know the half of it.
Literally, I got my memories taken away, so I forgot that most of it.
Oh. Here's you getting them back.
Well, maybe a blessing and the curse if I do, huh? The way you speak of it, at least.
Eventually, the two of you reach one of the doors down the long, curved, circular hallway. He reaches over, puts his hand up to a side panel, seemingly made of glass, and the door opens up, and he steps and beckons the two of you in. And you can see there are more panels, boards with buttons in it, keys, towers, screens. He sits down in one of the chairs and starts typing, and you can see across the far and adjacent wall, there are 6 pods, almost. Glass cylinders that are leaned back at an angle to let something on the inside lay down. And you can see there are humanoid figures on the inside.
Oh. What are these figures, DM?
Ah, don't mind that. That's a pet project of mine. As he continues typing.
Utgard's gonna walk up a little closer and like peer into it.
You look. There are 4 figures. Starting from left, going to the right. They seem to be humanoid of some sort, but not all of them seem human. The first one, a bit maybe reddish skin, horns that reach out, go around his head, black wavy hair, wearing very ostentatious clothing. The next one, taller than the last, green-skinned, blonde bobbed hair, sheriff's pin
No.
in her
What?
shirt.
No.
The next one, the next 2, actually, are 2 avian bird-like humanoids. One of them, the look of a raven, the other, the look of a hawk.
I'm
The next
sorry.
one, the next one, you can see, is a tall human, very broad-shouldered, pale skin, short, scruffy, blondish brown hair, bearded. The next one, also humanoid, a bit shorter than the last, olive-skinned, tired-looking eyes, ear-length black hair, wearing a very deep cloak.
Wait,
That's very cool.
Yo, Kyle.
what? I think I'm missing
Those-
something here.
They're all
Those are
the players'
campaign
deaths.
1.
Wait, no, what?
They're the campaign 1 characters. The
Yeah,
first
oh,
2,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
horns and the hair was Okmis, the tiefling.
They're
Second
not
one,
Okmis.
the green lady with the blonde bob, was
And then-
It wasn't
Roswell,
Aquas who died. It was
Sheriff, my
And
orc.
then the last 2
yeah,
is Thalmir and Redwood.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
They're,
Character.
they're
That's why I said
currently
character
dead
death.
player characters.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh
saying.
my god.
I like
They
to
died
think
from
Utgard,
old age?
you don't
What-
recognize the last
What
name.
I don't
about
know.
Whisper, Kyle?
Wait,
Whisper
Wait,
doesn't
what?
count.
doesn't
Whisper's
exist.
not. Whisper's not
doesn't
there.
exist.
Th-
so
It's
is it only certain dead player characters like Mivsy and Lados is alive?
No, that's late. That's later. We're not there
That's
yet.
later.
Man.
Hasn't
That's
happened
before
yet.
That's
They
after
don't
this.
exist yet.
They don't exist yet.
Oh,
yeah. These are
Uh-huh.
player deaths that have died currently in
That
canon.
have already happened. That's why Awen Show and
Yeah.
Silas aren't
Silas
there.
aren't there.
Guys, this means Whisper is still canonically
That's-
alive.
No, that just means
She's with the bone boys.
she's not important to the plot, so she doesn't get a tomb. That is actually sick. My original theory, human spirits, because, there's 6 of them, and there's 6 of us.
Technically, it is human spirits,
In a way.
People.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Whisper counts as a human spirit. They were just an NPC that was Lex played for a little while.
Who knows?
It was actually Kyle playing Whisper the entire time.
Are there
Very good
wounds on the
intimidate.
bodies, or are they healed?
No wounds.
Lex,
No
you know what
external
this
wounds.
means, right? You have to make Whisper your reoccurring character.
Okay, I have a...
The old woman that never dies.
We can talk about it on the break.
Yeah, you're right, sorry.
Yeah.
A pet
No.
project.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna reiterate. No wounds. They seem unmarred, uninjured.
A pet project. What? About to do what? If you don't mind me asking.
He kind of spins his chair around and says, those are individuals who are very strong as a human spirit, who are very promising. Replicas without a human spirit built here in the facility, just as a experiment, if you will. None of them have woken up yet. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know how to get their human spirits back into these bodies, but, I'm working. I'm working on it. But if they are individuals with a human spirit that exist and are tethered entirely to here in this reality, Earth, Terra Prime, they will be the greatest weapons to fight the gods that have ever existed. But that's in the future. And he turns around and keeps typing.
You're making like a task force to fight the gods, like weapons designed to kill the gods.
Correct. People who show very strong promise. Yes. I take note of them, and I replicate them at the peak of their strength, before they die, of course.
I have a question, Kyle. Does Redwood have his fingers?
Redwood does have his fingers.
Does he have the Maker's Wrath? Or the Blacksmith's? The
Bladesmith's wrath?
Bladesmith's Wrath.
No.
Yeah, I don't think that
For Utgard, they're all just wearing clothing. No arms, no armor, nothing.
That's what I thought. That is fascinating.
And after typing for a while, he goes, "Oh, that's that's quite the issue." And turns around over to you and says, "So, right now, you're kind of in a gray area of existence, right? You kind of have a physical form right now, but right now you're just like your essence, your soul, if you will. You're being tethered here by something that is very important to you. I don't really know what that is. I just know your record's on file. Nothing about your personal life. But there's good news. If I maybe have said object, I'll be able to, do my thing, and I can send you back home. But that means you're going to have to go back home to Reykjavik in Iceland."
He's Icelandic? I thought he was Russian. That's so much cooler.
What the fuck is happening?
Okay. What is in my file?
I thought you were going to say...
Oh, your work history, your work history, your address, blood type, all that.
Does it show if I had... Well, you said no personal life, right?
Yeah, no. Everything that just pertains to your employment, I have on file. No personal life, so... But I do know your address. I can go ahead and give that to Delilah, and Delilah, if you would like to ferry him back to his house, that would be most excellent.
And I'm guessing this is on Earth.
Correct.
Is
It would be very
safe-
weird if you lived up here.
Is it safe to be there?
Oh, trust me, it is the most safe to be there, because literally nothing can exist down there.
Even us?
Nothing can live down there, I should say.
Okay.
Thrive down there.
This motherfucker glassed the planet. Okay, I guess then. I guess I will be going home.
Yeah. I'll stay here. I'll keep working, making sure I can get everything set up for once you deliver me that object. I can, of course, can trust you with this, Delilah. Delilah just looks very tired. She goes, yeah, I guess. Come on, let's go.
All right.
Takes you back out into the hallway.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
I'll just
door
follow.
closes. She walks further down the hallway a bit more. A few doors off to your right later, and there's another door that opens up. This one is an enclosed circular room, and there's a glass platform with some devices on the inside and a few computer-like objects on a desk off to the right. She motions off to the glass platform. Says, "Go on, step up there. If you've experienced a teleportation circle, this is going to be nothing new to you."
I'll take your word for it, and he'll step up on there.
She starts turning on the screens and types in a few things. And
Are you coming with, or is it going to be just me down there?
I'm coming with, of course. I just gotta, put in the things.
Right.
Funny, this is actually what your job was,
Oh,
having the researchers go from the ground level all the way back up to the facility. That was part of your job description. It's funny, I'm doing it for you now.
well, maybe next. If I get my memories back on how to do it, I'll return the favor next time.
Sure, I don't care.
It was more a joke than anything, but...
Yeah, I know. She finishes typing something in, and you can see beneath the glass platform various different devices start spinning as it spins very quickly as she steps up on the glass platform next to you. And you see a wall of light envelops you as you feel briefly weightless, just like with a teleportation circle. Sweet Daisy.
Oh.
Wait, let me go potty first.
I want to see Iceland. I want to see Iceland. Cam, you got to learn an Icelandic accent now.
The best podcast ever.
Yeah, right.
It's great. I'm having a great
just
time.
listening, dude.
My game theory is, I'm so happy about my game theory because I think it's right.
Really quick, I love how there was no music in that whole segment.
Yeah,
Just
white
like
That
the
was
quiet
good.
humming was perfect.
That was really good. No, I loved that.
Kyle, I can't believe I was right before the beginning of the...
I know.
Kyle came to call. I was like, Kyle, let me shake my marbles in my mason jar at you. I told him about my theory that you were in like current Terra Prime, and what do you know? There was a really long pause before he went. I don't know.
Dude,
You'll find out.
If you can only... If you play Space Chamber with dead player characters as like your selecta class, that's sick.
Yeah, hey Kyle, what does that mean for somebody like me who doesn't currently have a character that's
Well,
alive?
Space Chamber's gonna go in the future.
Am I gonna be a
Space Chamber
level
would probably
2
be-
Druvo?
Well, oh god.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
okay, but consider we could choose from someone else's.
Right.
Yeah, but that
If
doesn't
one of
feel...
you takes Redwood from me, I'm fucking coming for you.
I'm gonna take
No,
Dominic.
that is such a
I
cool
kinda-
concept that it's dead
I
player
kind of wanted
characters.
to take Ocmus. I'm not gonna lie.
You want to take Alchemist?
You want to take
Oh my God.
Alchemist?
Spencer
Yeah, do
playing
it,
as
do it.
Alchemist.
Do it,
That'd be
do it.
hilarious.
Hey,
From all
I don't
the
even
stories
think-
I've heard of Alchemist.
I don't even think Awen knew Alchemist.
He uncanonically met him in the after, in like his soul.
Yeah.
Every story of Alchemist is unhinged, so do it. Send
Was that
it.
Cody's character?
No,
No,
that was
Adam's
Adam's.
character. It was Adam's old character that made
His
him.
character got shot
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's how he died.
Dude. No, it would be.
Alchemist
so cool.
was the character that made Adam text me without preamble saying, "Hey man, I'm sorry for how I used to play D&D. I realized I used to be a problem player." That was Alchemist.
Hey, you know
Yeah.
what?
One thing I was gonna say, like, as I was gonna say, I like to imagine that Utgard like lingers on Redwood for a second, but he doesn't know why.
Who's that guy?
Something in the
Sharing
human
same
spirit.
Yeah.
Haven't found me.
We do
Found me
know
there.
Daisy.
Daisy.
Gonna die.
Sweet Daisy.
Don't say that.
We're gonna die eventually.
The last
You're gonna get to play them again.
the last thing you remember is Utgard's thread unraveling as you are kicked from the dream. Everyone else that is in the room sees Sweet Daisy kind of knock her head back, and she looks down at Utgard's still sleeping body.
Daisy, what just happened?
So is that supposed to happen?
No.
Wake him up. Wake him up right now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna put down the frappuccino that I still have been drinking.
I'm gonna just smack Utgard in the face like I did when he was asleep on the.
I'm gonna
Smack.
give him a good shake.
You shake.
Hmm.
He's not waking up.
Utgard.
That hey buddy. Can I feel for a pulse?
Yeah. Can you make me a quick heal check for me, please?
I sure can.
Can I see if there's some sort of magic affecting him?
Well, I rolled poorly, but that is an 11 total. Pulses
11
aren't
total?
that hard.
Just you press your fingers on the side of his neck. You do detect a pulse, steady, as if he's sleeping.
I'm gonna.
So the
summon
good
a
news
chaos
is
beast, man.
he isn't dead. That's something.
Cass, you detect no magic other than what is ordinarily on him. Nothing like a strange magical effect or unnoticed previous magical item. He just looks like he's asleep.
Looking at like his face and everything, can I like open up his eyes? Like, can I tell if he's like experiencing like REM sleep?
You pull the lids back and look down. Doesn't look like he's dreaming.
Daisy, what happened?
Yeah. What? Hey, wait. This isn't normal with your dream hopping.
No.
I have no idea what I've done.
Okay.
Well, you know what you didn't do. So what happened, Daisy?
Okay.
Normally it's so easy to go into someone's dream. You know, I did it endless times with Cass. I did it with you all, mostly you all. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump across someone's consciousness. I tried to do that with Utgard, but it's like something blocked me out, and I got shunted to the dream tree again. And I was in my soul form, and I had my hand gripped around his string that was tethering him to the tree, and it just frayed apart and disappeared.
It frayed apart, or you did something to fray it?
I didn't do anything. At least
Okay.
not on purpose.
This
Okay,
is one
let's-
thing that I know Sweet Daisy wouldn't mess with. If it
okay.
comes to dreams, if you want to do anything to actively try and hinder that.
Okay. Let's breathe for a second. Let's
That's
calm
the
down.
point, though. What if it's not this part of Daisy doing it?
What do you mean?
Hold on. I think I might,
That would be impossible.
I think I might actually have a way to figure out what's going on. Because okay, all right. So when I scried on Dacton, right? I wasn't given Dacton's body. I was given new Dacton. In Tregabor's body. So can I make a spellcraft check? Is scrying looking at the physical form of the person or the soul of the person?
Make a spellcraft check.
That's a 26.
Can I-
26? Yeah, you'd know. It does indeed go after the soul, the internalized being essence that makes them who they are. Nothing so surface level, haha, as their body.
Okay.
Can I? Oh, mine's real quick. I apologize. Can I cast detect magic just to see if anything's
I already
affecting
did.
them? Oh, you already did. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I didn't know
That's
it was-
one thing I'm really good at.
You do that a lot.
It's free.
That's a good point.
Daisy, would you say that what you're seeing?
I don't
with
know
the
why I took it
dream
as a
tree,
cantrip.
Would you say that that's say that's like the soul? Like the dreaming foam is like the soul?
I mean, that's... It has to be, right? I mean, it's been twice now that things have been physically affected outside. You know, if it was just a dream, then, you know,
Right.
you pinch yourself, you don't wake up. It doesn't hurt.
But if somebody hits you or pinches you in the real world... Okay, I might try something a little weird, and we'll just see what happens. I mean, if he's stuck in, like, a dream, and he's not... Like, okay, I'm just gonna try something real quick. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna start casting scrying.
You see Iceland.
It's gonna take me like 10 minutes, so whatever anybody else is doing.
Okay, I think. Oh gosh.
Doesn't scry take an hour? Isn't that what we
It
figured out?
takes 10 minutes. I can scribe for up to an hour. Basically, so.
Casting time is an hour,
Oh shit. Okay, then yeah, it's gonna take me an hour.
so it's gonna take an hour.
Oh, and I can see for 12 minutes. That's what it is.
Yes.
We gotta make sure to stay calm.
Do you think
Yes,
you're gonna be in there for over an hour, Utgard?
Oh.
But you start casting the spell.
Oh, I thought you were gonna continue.
What would you like to do in the interim?
This has never happened before, right, Daisy?
No. At least not when I'm not in the dream, right? Like before all this happened, when we all met the DM, I had been messing with things and intertwining strings, and you know, it was
Have
just
you-
an effort to have one big joint dream.
Have you mentioned the DM to Nolson? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, I think we have.
Yeah, we had
Sweet
that
Daisy's been
conversation.
Oh yeah.
describing
I
him
remember.
as
Yeah.
the terrifying teenager.
Okay, so where you met the? Do you think he's talking to the teenager?
I hope not. That guy is terrifying, especially alone.
I mean, what was the story you told about the teenager? Something about gods, right?
Yeah,
And wasn't he, a god?
the Utgard was, and he does. The DM does eventually want to kill all of the gods.
Do you see the conclusions I'm connecting here, Daisy?
Mm-hmm. I do. Trust. I would never purposely put Utgard in danger.
I
This
don't
wasn't-
think you
I wasn't
did.
trying to send him to Idrisil. We
no,
were just
I-
trying to do a practice
Sweet
dream.
Daisy,
No, no.
Sweet Daisy, Sweet Daisy.
We're not
Allow me
blaming you
to-
for anything.
Allow me to rephrase exactly what the DM said. They should not be gods. Utgard is
It's no
what?
longer one.
He is mortal.
He's not. Yes. Right.
He is definitely not in danger.
On that
It's
note,
okay.
Cass, do you
That's a
wanna
very good point.
watch him? He's just gonna like gesture a little bit to the head with his head at Daisy. Take a walk.
All right. Yeah.
Come on, Daisy. Our room's claustrophobic enough as it is. Tomo's gonna open.
Are you sure you all don't need me? What if something happens and I can do something?
It might be out of realm. Go with Tomo for now, okay? We'll scream if we need you.
Oh, okay.
If you want Cass, I can keep watch. I don't mind.
No, I'll stay here. Tomo
Oh,
can handle this.
All right. I guess we're here together while we watch. I like to do that.
Is that upsetting?
No, it's just a little. I've never seen
You don't
scrying
have to
much.
Be here if you don't want to.
No, I need to be. Can you respond while you're doing that?
I mean, I think as long as
Occasionally.
yeah.
You can't hold a conversation, but you can respond.
It's just a tad unnerving. I hope he's all right. No, I don't think that would work. Trying to think of anything I can try.
As Tomo takes Sweet Daisy out of the room, Oktha continues casting the spell Scry, and Cass and Nolson watch over Utgard, who is asleep in the center of the room. We're going to go on a short break. Getting back into the session. Utgard. After feeling momentarily weightless, just like as you usually do, you come to stand also on a glass platform, similar to the one that you were just in, inside a room. Delilah steps off the platform and opens up the door and exits out into a parking lot, almost. Black asphalt outside. There are a few what look to be very strange, slender vehicles. Maybe like a small form train. It's a car, but you don't quite understand it. Probably looking at it, your memory returns to its vehicle. You look around. The sky is just endless gray clouds. Water around you. The ocean that is close to this platform. It's all still. No waves. No motion. What trees you can see are gray and don't move with the howling wind. There is snow piled up in the corners of the parking lot. But stepping on it, it doesn't crunch underfoot like piles of ice and frozen water. It more so just flattens, like it was a pile of ash. Delilah walks over to one of the cars and is looking inside of it.
Utgard's probably like lagging behind a bit, just sort of taking all this in, like what this place looks like, the devastation that was wrought, and just like taking it all in.
She looks at one of the cars and just puts her hand on the hood of it, and you see a pulse of electrical energy run through the surface of the car, and the doors open. The doors open. She says, "Come here. We can use this one." And she sits in the driver's seat. Closes the door and motions for you to get into the passenger seat.
Yeah, Utgard will do that. And when he gets in, he's just gonna ask, like, how many of these, like, receptacles are there on the planet?
By my best guesstimation, probably 50, maybe more.
And they just go all over the planet.
Yeah. They ferry the researchers from the ground level up to the orbital facility and back. Of course, the researchers live down here. And she puts her finger up against the keyhole, and another electrical charge in the car turns on.
How are you doing that?
It all has to do with Project Eden and what the DM was programmed to do. It's the same way gods have their powers.
Perks of the position, so to say.
Sure, we'll call it perks. And she opens it, buckles her seatbelt, kind of wordlessly motions for you to do the same.
Yeah, I'll do that. Gotta be safe.
And the car pulls out and starts driving away. And as you drive through Reykjavik, you look around. The buildings are empty, dark. You pass by a few piles of clothes, discarded on the side of the road. Maybe the car kind of picks up some of them as you continue driving.
During the drive, probably for the first good bit of it, Utgard is just taking it, like, everything in, trying to see if, like, he recognizes anything as we go by, sort of trying to remember that this was his home, at least these so many years ago, and then see if any new memories pop up from that.
You get parts of memories. A half-remembered time you went to the store and had to fight off a hobo. The time you missed the bus and had to wait for the next one. Time you went fishing and caught nothing. Half-formed memories, half-known, lived experiences. Nothing as strong as what has currently been returned to you.
Yeah. After a while, Utgard is gonna sort of turn to Delilah. He's just gonna say, "What was your family like? What were their names?"
My husband, Jeff. Jeffrey. He was a school teacher. Taught them very young. No. He was one of the main reasons I actually started working for Project Eden. You know, when my brother came and asked me to join, I wanted nothing to do with them. After all, I just wanted I wanted a normal job, you know? But normal jobs were hard to come by at the time. even though we didn't really get paid all too often, he never complained. Even though, teachers get paid like shit, he still supported us. Their little list, Lily. She was, just entering the first grade. Then it happened.
Was it just Lily?
Just Lily, yeah, but we were planning on having another, maybe. Against our better judgment, of course. The world was heading to shit, but we wanted something for ourselves, so.
Of course. You said your brother was part of Project Eden.
Yeah. You may know him better as, Bahamut. If that name rings any bells or not.
Does it?
No.
No. Not really, no.
Yeah, he's not known for, going to any of the other spheres of the material plane.
Which realm is his?
Ilona. As is mine, technically.
Do you see him often? Or is it, not really?
Not really anymore. After everything happened, he got some funny ideas about, the world and what he can do with the new power that he was just given, and he's always been the more ambitious of the two of us, if that makes any sense.
I certainly know the type. I've met more than a few in my day.
Well, should be up here pretty soon. And you pass by the main collection of buildings that you were driving through, and now begin getting to the outskirts. There are more trees. Though they are trees, again, they look dead, gray, motionless. Nope. There we go. Sorry. And you can see at the end of the road, which stops being paved, is a house. Maybe about 100 feet wide, 2 stories. There's a wooden porch at the front, an old rocking chair, a glass table beside it. Delilah brings the car to a stop, presses her thumb to the keyhole as the car hums to a close. She opens up the door, says, "Well, here we are."
Here we are. And Utgard will start walking towards the front door. It's slow. It's like he's kind of in a daze just because there is so much happening right now. And as he walks up the porch, he puts a light hand on the railing and feeling like, is it worn, well used sort of thing?
It's pretty worn.
He'll walk up and put a hand on the back of the rocking chair before going for the front door. And then
There's a screen door in front of the front door. As you open it, as you go, the door was unlocked. And you kind of laugh at that, because very suddenly a memory comes to you as you open it. An instinct reaction. Every single time you tell Milo to lock the door after you, but he never does. And you look inside the room, and it's rectangular shaped, wide open. There's a sitting area right in front of you. A massive leather armchair looks in front of a TV. The stand beside it, there's a glass ashtray with the ends of cigarettes sticking out of it. A few cans of beer, some of them half drank, others upturned on their sides. A wooden dining room table with a fake chandelier over it. Most of the bulbs missing, only a few still there. The kitchen is behind the sitting area, separated by countertops and a pillar, a load-bearing pillar in the center. Countertops. A dusty old mint green fridge. An island in the center that has cutting board and some rotten fruits and vegetables. A door that leads to the back. And a set of staircases that lead to the second story.
Is Delilah following me, or is she just like waiting outside?
She's waiting outside.
Okay. Utgard, when he gets that memory, that flash, sort of stops him in his tracks. And he just like repeating the name over and over in his head, just like Milo, 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 trying to see if anything more comes from that. I'm assuming nothing does.
Not yet. But when you first enter into the house, some more memories. The feeling you got when you first moved in. It wasn't a new house, but it was your house. The first house you ever had. You moved to Iceland from the new regime, from New Stalingrad. Initially, you were alone.
He'll continue walking through, sort of like putting a hand on the back of the armchair. And then, is there like there's a set of stairs, right?
Mm-hmm. Narrow carpeted stairs that go up to the second story.
And then he'll just start going up them.
You go up, and you reach the top. There's a set of double doors that leads into the master bedroom, and another door that leads into the bedroom off to your right.
He's gonna go in the small door on his right first.
Okay. You step inside the small door to your right. You can see it's kid's room. A narrow bed in the corner. Toys scattered around the floor. A chest half opened. And then more memories return to you. This room belonged to Miloslav Petska, your nephew, your younger sister's son. Your sister married a general from the new regime. When Milo was 5, his father was executed by the state, and your mother went missing and his mother went missing afterwards, leaving you as his only family. So you took him in.
I think Utgard is just like he kneels down, picks up one of the toys, and just is inspecting it. And like as these memories are just flooding, or just like flooding back into him, like there are like tears that start coming down from his face, and then he like sort of collects himself a little bit,
And then before like grabbing one of the toys and taking it with him, and then he's gonna go into the master bedroom.
You step inside the master bedroom. Wide, carpeted. A massive double bed is pushed against the middle of the far room. Lots of blankets, lots of pillows, and a few tables and some what look to be medical devices on the side. On the tables, dozens of pill bottles, most of them empty, some not. Pills and stuff. And you remember more. When you were 18, a few months after you moved into this house, your mother, who is a widow ever since you were a kid, was diagnosed with terminal cancer. You brought her back to Iceland, and a few years later, medical bills became too expensive to keep her in the hospital full time, so you brought her home. As for you, you slept on the couch.
Utgard just steps forward very gingerly, and he picks up one of the pill bottles and looks for a name on it.
Yep, you start. I have this in my notes. One moment. You start looking through the pill bottles. You can see. Anya Stefka. Your mother's name.
At that point, he fully breaks down and sort of like not falls to his knees, but he's like still on his feet, but he's like definitely like hunched down, like holding on to one of the bed, for like support, and he's just sobbing. And then after a few minutes, tries his best to compose himself. He's here for a reason, looking for something. And he's gonna take another look around the master bedroom, see if he would recognize anything that ties him here.
No. Not from your cursory glances around.
He's gonna walk out of the master bedroom, and he has in his hands like one of the toys and one of the pill bottles, but he really doesn't notice that he still has them in his hands. And then he's gonna like walk out the back door, view what's out there.
Okay. You step through the back door. There is no fencing around what would be considered your backyard. Just exits out into the forest beyond you. And looking out, you remember when you first saw it. You've always wanted a house in the forest. Though it's not that far away from civilized society, this is the closest you would get. Did you feel something? Whether it be a nascent, recurring memory, what have you, something is pulling you into the forest. Not physically, but your mind is telling you there's something out there important.
Really quick question. Would Utgard did he notice any clothes that like he saw on the street? Were there like piles of clothes? Were any of those in the bedrooms?
There's a pile of clothing in the in the bed in the master bedroom. You didn't find any others.
He'll just follow that instinct. Go deeper.
You walk into the forest. And your feet are carrying you more than your mind are. It's almost practiced at this point. You know exactly where to go, but you're not quite sure where it's taking you. And then it comes back to you when you see it. The base of one of the trees. It's a small headstone that you carved personally. Zofia Petska, your sister's name. You made it when she went missing. And you can see children's clothes at the base of it.
Utgard just kneels down. He's gonna put his hand on top of like the pile of clothes. And he's
You
just gonna,
notice
like, he's gonna just whisper to himself like, "I'm sorry I couldn't protect you."
You notice at the base of the headstone, buried slightly by the snow, is a book.
He'll reach down, brush the snow off of it, and pick up the book.
You look down at it. It's a picture book. Well, not like a children's picture book, but a binder full of photos.
He'll open it and start flipping through it.
You open it, and it's just a collage of photographs. Not of anyone in particular, but of nature. Trees, forests, oceans, mountains, the sky. These were all taken by your great-great-grandfather. And more memories come flooding back stronger than any of the other memories you've gotten before. You remember sitting with your sister. She was 2 years younger than you. You were 8 at the time. She was 6. You grew up in the middle of New Stalingrad, choked by buildings on all sides. Industrious smokestacks cutting off the view of the natural sky and the sun. Do you remember? It's a favorite pastime of yours to look at the pictures with her, trying to imagine the world where these were taken in. Do you remember making a promise? Not just to her, not just to you either, but to the whole world. That no matter what you do, you will work to restore the world that these pictures exist in. It's what made you want to move to Iceland, to work for Project Eden, even though you weren't going to get paid, even though you did eventually take on your mom and Milo. And it's what led you to be at the facility when Vecna attacked, when you became a god. And all at once you understand that it's this book of pictures that is tethering you here.
Utgard, he's just kind of sitting there, dealing with all these thoughts, and like very gingerly flipping through the photo book, just over and over again, seeing like these photos, and sort of like he'll see one like of the forest, and he'll look up at this desolate forest that surrounds him, and he's just like, he starts crying again, and it's not the full body racking sobs that it was back at the house, but it is mourning just for everything that he remembers having lost, and the fact that, I mean, like, just like everything, right? Like survivor's guilt, realizing that he like failed his promise, that just like everything. And he sits there just for a few more minutes and slowly stands up. He's gonna put a hand on top of Sophia's headstone, and just like under, like, he tries to speak, but words don't come out at first. He like tries again, and it comes out like a croak. He's just very like, I'm sorry. Like, and there's just nothing else he can say. And he's gonna take one more look at the small pile of clothes before he's gonna pick them up. He's gonna move them out of the way, and he's just gonna start digging. And once he gets like a few feet deep, he's probably just doing it with his hands. The ground is, I'm guessing it's pretty hard. It's like frozen.
It's frozen, but it crumbles when you put pressure to it.
And he's just moving sort of like a man possessed. And once he gets a few feet deep, he's gonna put the clothes in the hole. He's gonna go back into the house, grab the clothes that were in the bed, put them in the hole as well, and cover them. He just sort of stands there quiet for a minute. Picture book in hand, and in front of the headstone, the toy that he was holding and the pill bottle are sitting in front of it now. More to himself, to the spirits that remain, he's just gonna say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. That I forgot that I was not home. That I couldn't stop him. Sorry that you were not with me. I know that there is no chance that I can make this right. Whether I am Nikolai, whether I am Utgard, or Utgard Shield Wall, I will have my vengeance, and by... He stops. Not by the gods. By me, I will make this right. He's gonna turn around and walk back to Delilah.
Okay. You make your way back to the front of the house. Delilah is leaning against the car, looking off, away from the house. She has a cigarette. She's just taking long drags. And when she hears you approach, she turns and says, "Well, any luck?"
He'll hold up the picture book. This is what binds me here. That and, well, all the memories, I guess.
Well, let's get to it then. She flicks the cigarette off and opens up the car door and gets back in. And she presses her finger against the keyhole and the ignition starts. The car pulls out the driveway and drives off back into the city. The house shrinking in the distance.
Before he got in the car, Utgard spared one more glance back at the house before getting in. And on the car ride back, he's silent. Just processing everything and trying to figure out what he's gonna do next.
Delilah lets you exist in your silence, but that doesn't mean she's absent either. She exists with you, next to you, driving. She knows, and you probably know too, that she doesn't need to say anything. She just needs to be here with you. It's a long drive back past those buildings that you originally saw. More context. The pharmacy that you picked up the medication from. The schoolhouse you transferred Milo to. The food place you always went to when you were strapped for money. It all takes on a second, different context. Did you reach the grand facility once again? Delilah parks the car, turns it off. She looks at you and says, "I don't suppose you know how to operate the machines."
Do I?
No.
Yeah, there's a soft chuckle. Well, sort of not brooding. Has too much context behind it. But like it brings him out of his mind where he was just sort of spiraling. He just chuckles to himself. He's like, you know, of all the memories I got back, that was not one of them.
You're fine. Step up on the platform. This will take a moment.
Of course.
You step on the glass platform. Delilah once again turns on the devices, begins typing, and as the device begins whirling up, she steps up onto the platform beside you, and you once again have that weightless sensation as you are brought back to the orbital facility in an instant. She looks at you, kind of rolls her shoulders and says, "Right, well, we probably shouldn't keep the DM waiting, so..."
Does he have like a concept of time? Like, does he age ever?
I've asked
this
this.
whole time?
I've asked this him before. And he gave me quite a strange answer, and I've thought about it ever since. You get the concept of time through memories. Through the moment-to-moment creation of experiences. It's how you see how long ago something has been, to see how many memories you've made between then and now. He is a computer. He does not make memories. And so 1,000,000 years could pass by, and it would seem like a second in our perspective. He understands time in the physical concept. If you ask him to tell us the time, he can. But I think how you and I view time be something completely alien to him. As for why he looks the way he does, I don't know. The first few days he was of consciousness, he was nothing more than a glowing ball of light. He took on a few forms here and there, but I think this is his favorite.
I suppose that makes sense. He is another type of consciousness, I suppose. To try and understand it would be like trying to understand how a plant thinks.
Exactly. She takes you down the hallway.
As we're walking, no, never mind.
Okay. You return to the room with the DM. He looks up, says, welcome back. I suppose you found what you're looking for?
I did. I don't know what they're gonna do with it.
Just give it to me. Sit down. And he motions to the chair next to him.
Before you do anything, I would prefer if you do not destroy it, if that's what you're going to do.
No. It'll stay here. Safe here. And if by any chance you somehow end up back here, we can use it again to send you back.
Before I get sent back, he's gonna turn to Delilah and, like in the car ride, he feels like he doesn't really need to say it. She probably knows, but he's just gonna look at her and just be like, "Thank you for helping me." And I hope I can return the favor for you. And he's gonna reach out a hand to shake.
She just nods, gives you a knowing look in the eye, and gives you a firm handshake.
And once the handshake is over, he's just gonna say, "You may call me Nikolai." And then he's gonna sit down with the DM.
Okay. DM has since been working. Turns around and says, "All right, just close your eyes, lean back and relax, and before you know it, it'll be like waking up from a dream. Although, you can be certain this was all real."
And they'll remember everything.
Of course. These are memories made for you. Doesn't change now that you're going to go back there.
I hope you don't take offense to this when I say that you're odd. But I like you.
Actually, if we're going to be pedantic about it, if you total up all of the characters in my code, it actually comes out to an even number, so.
He just chuckles at that and leans back.
Did you close your eyes?
Cheeky.
And almost like drifting off to sleep, you feel your presence fade from the facility. And as you slowly open your eyes once more, you're in Tomo's room, on the ground. Uktha's casting a spell. And Cass and Nolson are looking at you.
Can I
His
ask how
eyes-
much time has elapsed while he was asleep?
From the moment we went on break, that was the last thing that just happened. So Tomo and Sweet Daisy just exited the room.
His eyes like sort of slowly open. And he like props himself up on his arms.
Oh,
Are you
Oh.
okay?
Tomo, Sweet Daisy.
You hear the two of you leave Tomo's room and then immediately hear you called back.
I'm gonna like go down to Utgard, kind of like hold his shoulder. It's like, all right.
I'm fine. I'll like brush you off and go to rise.
I'm gonna break my spell.
You don't have to waste a spell slot for that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're good.
I got a cool 2 minutes of the spell was cast.
Yeah, so you're good. No resources expended.
Sick.
Well,
Welcome back.
didn't seem like a frightened call, so he's probably fine.
Was I gone for long?
No.
No, Daisy kind of popped back, and freaked out a bit. So I started casting scrying to see if I could see where your soul was at. And then, like 2 minutes into that casting, you came back.
2 minutes.
About, yeah.
From the time Sweet Daisy returned in the time that Utgard is now sitting up, it was maybe only about 10-15 minutes.
It was about 10-15 minutes. Only 2 minutes of the casting, So
Sure.
yeah. I knew that.
I'm
I
glad.
knew that.
I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you. It's
Are you okay?
yes.
I mean, he seems
I-
okay.
Well, but you were like full catatonic. My normal slaps to the face didn't work.
I thought my face had a bit of
It's-
stinging on it.
It's around that time when you realize that you do kind of have a
Ow.
sting across your face.
Can I ask Cam how Utgard's looking? Is he like? Does he look at peace?
As you look at him, he's like looking around the room, looking down at himself. He has this full crystalline armor on, and he's just sort of like feeling it. He like reaches up, touches his face, feels like the full beard, the short hair, and like he like you can see that he like grabs a strand and looks at it and sees that it's all white again.
Did you
And-
see Yggdrasil?
No. And as you like continue to look at him, he looks like he's trying to settle back into his body a little bit. Like he looks okay, but he looks a little bit out of sorts. Like if you like pushed him, he would probably fall over just because he's like not paying really a close attention.
Well, Nolson will lend a hand to try to get you to stand up, to help you up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I do want to point out you're too young to die in your sleep. And if you do
Nobody-
choose to
Nobody's
that,
too young
please
to
don't-
die in this sleep.
Yeah.
please don't do it in my room if you do choose to go that way.
Well, I will try my best. I don't think I'll die in my sleep, and I will certainly not die in your room. I can promise you that much.
Flash cut to Utgard dying in the campaign in Tomo's room.
Getting stabbed.
He's like, he has like, there's like someone behind him. He's like protecting him. He's like,
Slowly crawling out of the room, trying not to die in Tomo's room.
I promise.
I promise.
Well, I guess all I can really say is I'm glad you're back. Well, back from wherever you were.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you. It was odd, strange for sure.
well, wait, if you didn't see Yggdrasil, what did you see?
If you want to discuss, you don't have to.
Well,
Of
keep in
course.
mind, Nelson, this is new territory for everyone here, including Daisy. Every time we've done it, I mean, it hasn't been often, but it's gone off without a hitch.
Utgard is gonna turn and look at Daisy, and see her worried little mouse face. He's gonna bend down and like he's gonna pat you on the head. And like, I am okay. You did not risk, or I am not harmed in any way. In fact, what you did, well, helped me quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into all of it now. I'm still figuring everything out myself, but I met with the DM.
Ooh,
Oh,
boy.
I feel.
No,
Okay,
no,
well,
nothing
I
like
guess I'm
that.
last one.
He was kind. He's a little strange, but nothing I'm necessarily afraid of. At least I didn't get that vibe. I didn't get that vibe. Did I? Kind of like
That's a
the
newfangled
vibe, like-
word. Where did you get that from?
Yeah, no. He was just a little strange, a little unorthodox, but nothing malicious.
he was a little guy.
He's just a
Well, I
little
feel-
Just a
guy.
little guy.
Just a
Well, I
little
feel a
goblin.
little.
Just an
I feel a
all-powerful
li-
little guy.
Oh, powerful little goblin guy. I feel a little left out, but if you said he's nice, they all said he was scary. Why did you all say he was scary?
I did not.
I mean, I think he's scary. I think he's terrifying. I mean, he chased me through the boundaries of reality and dreams, you know, and then he took away my powers.
And
Well,
That-
He did. He did change the entirety of how Sweet Daisy's powers work, just on a dime.
he also
Oh. So
changed
very
all of our
powerful.
memories of him until Sweet Daisy went back again.
Okay. And you said he's a nice guy.
he was to me.
Huh.
I don't think
There-
like mean is a good way to put it, but he was like crass almost.
To me,
I
he
would-
just seemed like a child. He did not have full grasp on social cues and but he is a different kind of being than us. So
Oh. Okay. This is really. This is above my pay grade. I don't know what we're talking about.
with respect, I am going to take some time to myself, if you don't mind. It's
Yeah, take all the time you need.
a lot going on in my mind right now, and I need to sort of take some time to process it.
And you said you're okay. You're not hurt at all.
I'm fine.
Okay.
And Utgard's gonna walk out, go to his room.
That is Hellbred. That is Ellisborn speak for I need space now.
He's gonna like break off his armor and just like lay in the bed, just like processing everything that just happened.
Well, you could use the ring.
He doesn't
And?
want to.
Force a habit.
Yeah,
I love it.
Oh, yeah, I guess if he
Just
doesn't
like,
want to, yeah, force a habit.
fuck
That actually
this.
is good. Okay. That's fair. Huh.
You lay in the bed, and you cycle through all of what you had just experienced. Just like filing through pictures in your memory.
With all of that, were any more memories of me as the god Utgard unlocked, or is it just as Nikolai?
Just as Nikolai, as you lived in Iceland.
Yeah, and then he's like, at one point, he just lifts up his hand and looks at it, and there's a moment where it's like he blinks, and his hand is the hand that it was in the dream in Terra Prime, and then he blinks again, and it's back to his own hand, and he's just like, yeah.
Okay. The
Um,
rest of you watch as Utgard leaves.
Well, that was intense.
Oh my god, I thought I killed him.
Well,
Well.
you didn't.
We are, I think, still going to go take some fresh air.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to get dinner started.
Would the two of you like some company? Oh.
as much as I do always love and appreciate your company, I think maybe it would.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course.
I'd appreciate your company. You don't have to cook, you can just sit there and talk.
Okay, I will say there's kind of something that I want to do as well. I can do it in the kitchen, though. That should be fine.
I guess I'll.
Nelson,
go
are you
into the-
coming?
Yeah, yeah. Huh.
I was just gonna like open the door and kind of like usher everyone out, leaving out the safe space.
Get out of my room!
Get the fuck out of here!
Frappuccino.
What's out of the room?
I
Cass is going to head over to Sweet Daisy and press a little kiss to her little furry forehead. You alright?
I don't know yet.
Alright.
Can I sleep in your room again tonight?
Of course, I'll leave the door open. It always is.
I will not be kissing your forehead. Those are strictly for Octha.
I'll kiss your forehead, Tomo. Come here.
I'm moving away now.
Dex poisons you for trying.
I'm not gonna kiss any foreheads, but I hope everything is okay, Sweet Daisy. If you need to talk to anyone, I'm open for it as well.
Would you like to borrow Fair Dune?
As like a comfort pillow?
Yeah, like I don't know. You could. He has a saddle. You can ride him. You know, if you want. I mean, you know, tentacles are a little weird sometimes, but like the feathers are soft. You know.
I'll take Fair Dune.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I'm not gonna look through it or anything. I have other eyes I need to see through.
It's so creepy.
You know what? I'm gonna.
I'm sending my mom to the Hag's Hut. I'm gonna like the whole thing. But I'm gonna be busy for a little bit.
Good luck.
Yeah, you too.
You'll do great. Tomo will give Octha a kiss on the forehead, and then just kind of usher like stand in the hallway and just like to Daisy, like toward the top deck.
We're going to the top deck. We're not staying in here.
Well, the freshest air tends to be outside.
Oh, okay. Sweet Daisy is going to stand up and toddle her way out.
Step into the top deck.
So like probably to the bow of the airship.
Mm-hmm.
Lean against the railing. Not gonna look at Sweet Daisy. Kind of give her maybe not bore into your soul eyes. So Daisy.
Oh, I'm tired.
What are you thinking right now?
Thinking that you know more than some of the other people on the ship, and you have known for a while, and that I get the sense that you're quite angry at me for not sharing sooner, maybe. If it was me, I would maybe feel betrayed as a friend, perhaps. But for much as we see each other in this moment, I don't know how you're feeling. I can't even begin to guess what's going through your head.
Daisy, that's not what I asked. I asked what is going on through your head right now about what just happened.
Well, I'm mostly thinking about whether or not you're going to push me off the ship. That's the first thought. The second thought is, thank God Utgard is conscious and alive. And how I really don't think I know what I'm doing anymore with myself or my powers. I could have really gotten him hurt. I've nearly gotten myself hurt quite a few times, and I feel like if when it comes to me, I can just glaze over it. I can troop through it. It's okay. If I just put on a smile, it won't be that serious,
Why won't it be that serious?
Because I always come back. I'm always supposed to come back. Oktha's in a similar position now, but, when it comes to Oktha, I would never be that flagrant with his life, and with Utgard, I didn't think I was being reckless. I thought that I had put enough effort into thinking it through, and if we just did this one thing and everyone was around, everything would be okay. It would have been okay. But it could have gone so wrong, and we could have lost someone else, and it would have been my fault.
Does that scare you?
It terrifies me. And I don't know why. It didn't used to be like that. When I left for the pasture lands, when I found Cass underneath the castle, all I could think about was how much danger I was in, and how I needed to weave together this grand machination to get myself out of the situation I was in, and how I could subvert fate to favor myself. But now that I'm out, and there's other people here, and I care so much about whether or not you will make it. That part of me feels so distant. And today, before everything happened, I thought he'd be fine. It didn't even cross my mind whether or not this could be dangerous, what I was doing. I didn't even think whether or not that the danger was something I should care about before it even happened.
Well, I can say that I've done the same. Relatively recently, at least for you all. You acted more in a way of familiarity. And familiarity brings comfort. But that's the thing, at least in your case, Daisy. an observation, if you'll listen to it. The more you grow in talent, the harder it is for you to control it. It might have been easier before because you only had a fraction of what you're truly capable of doing. Sort of like making a book. It's easier to make a book with 5 pages than it is 500. And while you can envision the end result, and you know how to do it, the more complex, the more strenuous the process, and the more chances for things to go wrong. Even if what you intended from the beginning was to make something beautiful.
You sound like Bridget.
I don't know how to feel about that, so thank you, I suppose. I suppose something you'll have to learn, Daisy, is when is it, maybe also who, is worth risking your uncertainty. You said so yourself. You've grown to care for a great deal of many more people than you used to. And I know it's easier to accept consequences when they're only your own. But like me, you find yourself now in a position where consequence for yourself doesn't affect only you, but everyone around you. And you don't get to control how that affects those people, Daisy. And that is something I had to chew on for 2 very long months in a room.
Yeah. Even though he's done something absolutely horrible to you, do you ever feel like those parts of him that were nice and familiar, do you ever feel like there's a part of him that's worth saving?
I think well, I don't like to use the word always very often because there's a lot of weight put on an always, but I think I always might. Part of me can recognize that I can be him, or could become. And I'd like to think that no matter what, I'm always someone worth saving.
I agree with that. I would always come try and save you, Tomo, whether or not I was me.
I don't know how successful you would be, but I appreciate the gesture.
Pretty sure I've died more than a couple times trying to do things above my pay grade. So Pretty sure you and Octha are the only two that I haven't outright said it to. Pretty sure you've already figured it out, but the whole Bright Queen thing. I may have been wrong to not fully explain things sooner, even though you've asked about it. I may be carrying half a god around inside of me, though I'm sure you figured out as much.
To be honest, I was not really paying that much attention to your plights. I've been kind of busy mentally, but I appreciate you telling me. That's probably the most honest you've been for some time, so that sounds like a lot of trauma and work. I don't know. I don't know if should I say happy birthday? Do you remember being a god? I don't know how this really works. We don't have it in our culture, really.
I don't think this warrants a birthday. If anything, I would like to maybe avoid one at all costs.
Why?
Because that whole vision I had with my head getting chopped off. I've got one half of Char's soul, and the sword that is going to take my head has the other. So I'm pretty sure that's when my birthday is going to be, if it does come to happen. But hopefully not. I've had my own bit of
Well, that seems
a Tarathiel-like friendship kind of brewing in the background, and I think he may have fixed me with a good deal. I'm not sure. I don't think I can ever be sure.
Well, then why would you think it'd be a good deal?
At the time, trusted him. I don't think I had much choice, though, thinking back on it. Maybe I do. I still want to think that he has my best interests at heart, you know? We're very similar. When I saw a bit deeper into who he really was, I couldn't help but see myself. I couldn't help but see Cass before I found him. Oh, the castle, you know? He's just... I think he's trapped, and he doesn't know how to get out. He doesn't have anyone to help him get out. You know?
May I ask a question?
I'm an open book at this point.
How do you know he wants out? I mean, as far as I know, gods are quite capable. And if he's able to talk to you, he can't be that trapped, can he? Sometimes people want to stay trapped, or at least make it seem that way. Whether it be alone time, or... well, in more devious cases, to lure people in. Kind souls wanting to help. Or malicious ones looking for an easy prey. Which sounds very cat-like of me. I need to work on that. But... if he is stuck, how did he get there? Why is he there? Who put him there? And why isn't he out? You don't know any answers, then you can't really trust any information, can you?
No, I suppose not.
I am a firm believer of questioning everything. Because the one time you don't, it's usually the one time you die. Or you do something stupid. Which can lead to dying, but not always. It's kind of an extreme, but
Well, I certainly don't want to die, now do I?
no. Can't imagine it's very pleasant. I don't recall my own experience. For all I know, I haven't. But, do you know what's exactly supposed to happen once the sword takes your head? Because that seems kind of counterintuitive to me if you want to bring together a god. Usually things are together, not murdered.
Well, from what we learned from Nolson in this whole escapade we've just been on, I think I was severed with binding. So I've got one half of me that's mortal, and the other half is material, and is bound to the Dawnbringer. I've never thought about it. That name is very ironic, isn't it? The Dawnbringer sword is the one who's going to take the head of the goddess of eternal night. That's off track. I think what's supposed to happen is I'm supposed to become Char again, at least become whole. Maybe I just get whatever powers back that I had before as a goddess. Maybe I get all the memories back from every single past life I've ever had, including hers. I don't even know if... I don't know if I would change into something that's not me, or if I would stay the same. I want to stay me. I want to stay mortal. I just get this awful feeling when I think about not living this life. I feel like this one is not more important than any of my past ones, but I think it's my favorite. I think it's her favorite. I don't know if I've ever had anyone like you all ever that genuinely likes me and supports me and cares about whether or not I'm safe. You know? When I think about infinite power and everything that being a goddess would maybe have to offer, the first thing that comes to mind is whether or not I would be able to bring back Redwood and Thalmir. You know? I've thought about it nearly every day. Every night before I go to bed, I research different ways. I've been looking it up, how clerics in the past have ripped souls back from the afterlife, how they've been willing to return from their bodies. to come back and keep living. Other than that, I can't see any other thing that would change, anything else that I would want to change with endless possibility. This is the path that I want to choose, and I think some part of her does as well.
Well, you know it's coming. You said so yourself. Everything you see always has and must happen. Knowing this, Daisy, you have to use it moving forward. Because it would appear as though, this is strictly my observation, but I think we both know those are my strong suits. It would appear as though you're running away from it, but you can't run forever, and that is coming from someone who has tried. Though maybe for not as long as you have. So, what do you do going forward? How are you going to take this information and use it for what you want? If you are going to have to inhabit, I'll say a being, whether it's this one or another one, once you're inevitably combined, how are you going to stop yourself from becoming someone you don't want to be? I'm not saying you have to know the answer now, but instead of running away, maybe run for a solution. And you don't have to do that on your own either. I do know that Cass will always help. Octha is, in my observation, though it might be very biased, has unlimited potential. With Utgard comes wisdom, Nolson, trust, and then I bring understanding. I think your strongest suit is probably your creativity, Daisy, so use it.
You know, it's really poetic. When we were all trapped with Trathiel in that space he made for us to all face our worst fears, the only thing that stopped me running around like a chicken with her head getting cut off was stone shaping you all. Be there with me. In my vision, I was alone. So maybe we just have to stick together.
I don't think you'll ever truly be alone, Daisy. I don't think one can know loneliness when one has people who care about them. Not true loneliness, at least. And I will say, From my observation, it is something I don't know if Tarathiel will ever be able to not know. You should probably blow your nose. I've been hearing all of the sniffles. And I do want you to know I'm not mad at you, Daisy.
Sweet Daisy's gonna run and she's gonna full on snot and tears face plant into
The hands go up.
Tomo. And just, I'm gonna give him the biggest squeeze. I need to know what your favorite color is.
Well, you see it every dawn, so.
It's a different color every time. That's not an answer.
Well, then maybe one of these dawns I can point it out. Daisy, can you? All right. All right. It does hurt my ego a little bit that you only think of me as a scary, angry person. I actually am full of lots of depth, I would like to think. It's just like slowly like patting Nazumi head.
As the two of you remain on the top deck after sharing a heartfelt conversation, explaining fears and pasts and what comes in the future. That's where I'm going to end today's session.
Oh my god.